So this might be one of the coolest things that I've encountered birding. There's a bellbird making that sound, and he is making that sound to defend his territory. There is another bellbird over here, and there's a third bellbird over here. I wish you could see it. It has a white back, black wings, a brown head. It's got sort of these tentacles that come out of its bill. It's really creepy. This place is just incredible. So I just finished my orientation hike with a guide called Caleb. Really, really good guy. Helped with all sorts of really fun stuff, pointing a bunch of really cool stuff out. I'm now on the Bellbird Trail, which you can hear the bellbird in the background. It's marked as a difficult trail, so I want to give this a test run before tomorrow, where a guide is going to take me to see the oilbirds. So far, pretty good. It's not as hot as I anticipated. Man, I just love the way the sun hits those greens. That's really cool. So it's been really, really fun. I think I'm going to do a couple more trails today. Maybe sit on the veranda. I'll do a house tour later to show where I'm staying. Definitely recommend this place. 25 out of 10. Earlier, we saw a bunch of really cool birds. There was a manakin, which is a tiny little bird that dances, and it was on its lekking ground, lekking, L-E-K, which is just basically like a place where you can attract your mates. And there were probably maybe 8 or 10 males there practicing, and then a female showed up and all hell broke loose. It was so cool. I'll have to come back and do a video because it's a pretty easy hike from the main house. There is a natural spring that leads into a pool, so I think that might be on the stop for today as well. But it could also be just a veranda day because that's where all the hummingbirds are. There's all sorts of stuff running around in here. It is so freaking cool. One of the things that we encountered on the trail earlier was a porcupine, and Caleb said that he knew it was there because he could smell it, and there was this overwhelming sort of musky scent, and so he said that the porcupine was very, very close by, and we looked down and it had probably just finished its breakfast. It had mangoes all over the ground. They were half chewed, so that's fun. Breakfast this morning, I had wheat toast with pineapple jelly, watermelon, and passion fruit juice. I can't wait to see what's for dinner. So, yeah, again, just an amazing place. All right, so as promised, here is a little tour of where I'm staying. So up that staircase and across the driveway is my room, the oilbird room, which I showed you this morning. And then down here's the main house. So through those doors is where I would go in and have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They're setting up right now for a lunch because there's a tour group that's here right now. So I don't get to eat lunch alone today. That's nice. So this actually used to be an old house. I think that he said that it was a cocoa plantation. It's been around for about 120 years. And then Osarait and her husband actually came in from the UK. She's from Iceland. And they said that during World War I, the husband was exposed to mustard gas, and he had breathing problems. So then they made the decision to come here to Trinidad. And then they took over this estate, and this used to be the old house. And this place is just an absolute treasure. So you can see the main sort of area. They've got tea set up over there. I've just brewed myself a cup of Earl Grey. And then I saw this area over here this morning, which has got bird books and all of that stuff, should you be interested in that. And he was explaining that this is made out of a mixture of mud and cow dung with some grass inside. So it sounds just a little bit different. And then here's where all the cool stuff happens. This is the veranda. And so you can see very cool out here. And this is a ton of fun because this looks over all of these bird feeders. So we've got all of the bird feeders down there. There's a combination of hummingbird feeders and then fruit set out for the folks who eat fruit. And I went through the trail down there to see the bellbirds today. And I've just been sitting here for a while, watching the hummingbirds, and all of the other birds coming through here. They were saying that there's not a lot of fruit activity happening right now, or that there's not a lot of feeder activity because a lot of the trees are fruiting. So this is a bush called the wild tobacco. And I think it's hard to see, but it's got these tiny little orange berries, and the birds are going absolutely bonkers for it. That tree right there is filled with 6 birds. So they're absolutely loving it. That tree right there is called an immortal tree. It's filled with late season flowers, and so they're just starting to finish off, and that's filled. This morning it had oropendolas. It's got a bunch of euphonias in there right now. And I am set up right there, so you can see my teacup and my binoculars. And this has seen a lot of action despite the fact that I'm sitting there. This really cool hummingbird called a brown violet ear keeps coming up, and it's arguing with, there's a couple of wasps that are on there, and it keeps arguing with those wasps. So there's all sorts of cool stuff in here right now.